We are live. It is live. Let's see if anybody joins on. Let's see, I see 6 people on, 7. Some people popping in right now. Hi, everybody. Hi, Karen. Let's see, I just want to make sure I'm not missing anybody. Oh, goodness. Hello. Oh my goodness, there's so many people coming on. That's awesome. I see so many familiar names. Vicky, Norvell, Sandy. Hi guys, good to see you. I should say hello friends. I got 30 people going on right now. Oh my goodness. Hey Sharon. Hello from Liberty Lake, Washington. Oh, I love seeing everybody around from all over the US and the globe. Hi. Good to have you here. I'm just gonna give just a few minutes to let everybody catch on and get notified from the notifications on the event. Lynette's from Melbourne, Australia. Hello. Oh, you missed one. Wapakoneta, Ohio. Woo woo! That's where I'm from. I'm originally from Ohio, northern Ohio though. But I know where Wapakoneta is. Hello from Silver City, New Mexico. Hey Wendy! You're probably the only person I know in New Mexico. Hey Janice. Oh, I'm so glad you're able to catch it live. Awesome. Hey Connie. Rose from Long Island. Hey, yeah, it's cold here in Utah, isn't it, Catherine? It is cold. Hi, everybody. Oh, wow, we're up to 36 people. Terry from Alaska, hi. Hey, Val. Pam from Northern Michigan. This is awesome. Andrea's from South Australia, Adelaide. Is that how you say that? Oh, I'm not good with it. Pam from Northern Michigan. Okay, yes. Hi guys, 43 people. That's awesome. I'm so excited and kind of nervous at the same time. Welcome everybody. Hey Jen. Good to see you here. We're going to get started here in just a minute. We're bringing you the 3rd live video from our birthday, Crafty Carrot birthday bash. This weekend. We are celebrating our 4th birthday. I can't believe it's been 4 years. I've known these women for 3 years before that, so a long time, and it's already been 4 years for the Crafty Carrot, so it's been a huge blessing in my life to have these 3 ladies as well as this program in my life. It's kind of kept us all insane. It kept us to our sanity through all of this COVID last year. Hey, Laurie. I see Laurie's on there. Katrina. Hey, Rachel. This is great. All right, we're up to 45 people. When we hit 50, I think I'm just going to get started because I have a lot to share with you guys today. I'm excited to share with you the stamp set that I selected for the birthday collection, which is going to be on our exclusive program next month. And it's called Pretty Perennials. So this was my pick. We tried to pick something that all was birthday related, and I loved where it said happy birthday. And this stamp set is one that I've been wanting to work with, that I did not get to work with in the annual catalog the mini catalog that we did. And if you don't know who I am, I'm Cindy Schuster from the United States. I'm your Crafty Carrot demonstrator in the US, as well as I do work at Stampin Up as a concept artist. And so I do create all the samples with my team that are in the catalog and on the website and everything. So I didn't get to use this stamp set. So I'm so excited that I can do that with a Crafty Carrot and show you guys some different ways that you saw it than in the mini catalog that's available right now. So let's see, I've got 2 more people coming up. I see Lynette from Texas. Hey. And Shelly's on there. Okay. We're right at 50 people. All right, let's get started. I'm gonna flip you guys around. And I watched back at Jen's video, and I love that she didn't show you the final sample right away. So I'm gonna kind of do the same thing. I'm gonna kind of dangle the carrot and tell you guys the process and how I created each piece, and then you'll see the final sample at the end. So I really like the way she did that. It kept me excited and to watch the whole thing and kind of take in everything that she was doing. And then you got to see the final results. And so I'm going to kind of do the same thing as Jen. All right, so we're going to switch you guys around and hang tight. I'm going to switch. Okay. Let me get set up here. And you can keep commenting. I will see your comments. Let me just get this arranged. Don't want to be too jerky. Sorry about that, guys. Make sure my lighting is good. Looks like it is. Hey, Antoinette. Hey, Janice. All right. So we're going to be working with the, and if you're crafting along with me, I'll try to remember to include any sizes or anything like that, because we're not doing, this is not a tutorial that we're going to do a PDF with, but it's going to be just a live, everything's live. So I will, if there's any questions later on, I'll make sure I'll add the dimensions afterwards. So we're going to do the pretty perennials, and I have all my dies in this little, so recently in a program, I lost one of my dies. It was a really tiny die. So I went ahead and got one of these little, like, what are they called? Nuts and bolts kind of magnet piece. And so I got one of these to keep all my pieces together in here where I don't lose them. So I have all of my dies, the perennial dies, as well as the stamp set. And you're going to need crumb cake card base. And I'm going to pull a couple of things from the stamp set. You're going to need this floral bloom parch tray. Yes, Val, you're right. It is a parch tray. Okay, just making sure I'm checking everything. You're going to need to have this little insert stamp center. Then the smaller flower, you're going to need the word happy. Of course, we need the word happy. We have to say happy birthday. You're going to need this piece here, as well as the word that comes with it, birthday. And I love the way that this was designed, because you can kind of put any kind of greeting you want together. So you could say, sending lots of happy mail. You make me happy. Happy birthday. Happy for you. Sending lots of happy birthday mail. I mean, you could just kind of go crazy with the combination. As well as this is a two-step. So you've got several of these pieces that can be stamped and then stamped on top. And I love the graphic image of this, as well as the layering possibilities that you can do. I even love just having that kind of a wash look. This was our $1 million sales achiever, Dina Renko, and I love this set. She helped design it. It was her idea, her brainstorm, and she was able to do that for her $1 million sales achievement. Good morning from, hey Leonie, good to see you here. All right, so we've got those stamps that we need. We're going to need 3 ink pads. So you're going to get a mint macaron, petal pink, calypso coral. You're going to need to use Versamark, white embossing powder. I just take like a bunch of them and I have it in a little container. It just makes it easier with a little spoon and a heat tool. You're going to need some cardstock. So this is your card base and crumb cake, and then here in crumb cake this is going to be measuring 3 3/4 by 5. You're going to need to have 2 pieces of white cardstock. You can either use Whisper White if you have it in stock in your hands, or you can use the new basic white. I am showing you right now Whisper White. I haven't bought any of the basic white yet because I still have a couple of packets of the Whisper White. So, and you're just gonna need, I just have, these are 3.5 by 5. So they're just some extra sheets. You're gonna need an extra piece of the crumb cake. And then you're gonna need a piece of Petal Pink and a piece of So Saffron. And I went ahead and did these die cut pieces, so it kind of helped me have a little bit less time. Let me get all these. So you're gonna need, in this little die set, there's this really great piece that die cuts these out. So you're gonna need 2 of those. And then in the die set, there's a tiny little bloom, which creates these. And there's 2 of them in the die set. So let me find them. Okay, they were in here. There they are. So there's 2 of them. So you're gonna need 3. So I do everything in 3s. And so I'm gonna need 3 of those. And I went ahead and just kind of got those already ready. Okay, so we're gonna leave those to the side and we'll play with those later. And I'm gonna start first by using my Happy. I'm gonna do that first. So we're going to take our Versamark pad, our Happy stamp, and our white embossing powder. Okay, I want to just check comments, make sure everybody is on. I'm up to 61 people watching. Fantastic. That's awesome. Okay, so I'm going to do Happy. And I was watching Jen and Susan's videos, and all 3 of us did some fussy cutting. So we're going to do some fussy cutting on this word Happy because it's just so cute as it is that it needs some fussy cutting to make it a little wow. So I did that right on the crumb cake, and I'm just going to add, and I like to sometimes let my embossing powder just kind of sit there for a minute and then tap off. And if I get any pieces that I feel like are kind of going to be an issue, I just take, let me show you a trick. I take my, I'm going to need this later. Take my Take-A-Pic tool, and I take the little gummy end, and if there's any pieces that are going to be in the way, I just kind of pull them off with the gummy end. And I can get in there and just kind of get those little leftover pieces of dusting that might be around. Little tip there. All right, and now I'm going to take my heat tool. I know this is going to be loud, so just hang on. You're following along. Get this a little hot. And I love the white on the crumb cake. It really pops. Just something that I thought would be fun to add a little bit of. But when you see the finished card, it'll be very neutral. Okay. You always want to make sure you let your embossing just sit for a minute before you begin to play with it, so that it dries, because or else it will smear. And then when I do my fussy cutting, I like to make sure that I get rid of all the excess around it before I begin my fussy cutting. So I just want to grab this around and cut it out. I'm just gonna go over there. And then I'm going to begin my fussy cutting. So I'm going to hold my scissors straight. And I know that like Susan is left-handed, I am right-handed. So there's some, you know, changes that you can do with fussy cutting. But let's see. Linda says, good idea, great tip. Yay, brilliant. Good tip. I normally use a brush, but it always isn't accurate. Yes. So use the Take-A-Pic tool. It is fantastic for that, embossing those little pieces away. And then I'm just going to take and do some fussy cutting. I try to use my scissors straight and manipulate the paper with my left hand instead. And I'm not too worried about like getting into every single groove, but I do want to have a nice balance with all the spacing around it. I'll use my words. All right. Yes, I find it was funny that I was fussy cutting. We're all fussy cutting. So we'll have to see what Krista does. Krista, you doing some fussy cutting? I doubt it. Krista does not do fussy cut. She's more of a punch and die girl. Very rarely will she do fussy cutting. All right, so just, and if you're working with me, now if you don't like fussy cutting, you totally could even just do like a square around it and do the same thing. So you could do that as well if you're following me and you're like, I am not one for fussy cutting. But I really like this word. I wish we had actually made a die to cut this out. Wouldn't that have been fabulous? Maybe that's something that we can recommend to Stampin' Up, to create more words like this with dies that are included in a Stampin' Tool bundle. All right. All right, there we go. So I've got that piece is ready to go. Let me just do a little cleaning. All right, so we're going to begin to do some stamping. So we're gonna do first, I'm going to stamp in Petal Pink the image, the big blossom image. So we're gonna stamp that. And if you want, I have, I do recommend that you use a foam pad underneath your photopolymer stamp sets. It makes a, I'm going to stamp in the Calypso Coral. We're going to stamp the inside greeting, or not the inside of the bloom. I'm going to stamp one of those. And I'm going to stamp the buds. I guess that's what they are. They're buds. And then I'm going to stamp the word birthday. And I'm going to stamp closer to the edge so that I know that one of my edges is nice and straight. And I want to stamp it right there. And then when I cut it, my other edge will be straight. So I only have to cut once. All right, so, oh yes. Thank you, Wendy. They're 3.5 by 5, correct. I hope to see Stampin' Up cover with more word dies. We'll send a request. Yay. And she's, Krista said, I'm not fussy cutting. Okay, so we've got those done. I'm just going to get everything prepared so you can see where I'm beginning to stamp, and I'm going to pull my dies. So I have this one here, and I have that one there, and then I need that little one there. So I've got my dies all ready to go. I'll do those in just a minute. I'm going to show you some tips on how to use our new mini cut and emboss. I'm going to share a few little tips on that, so that's coming. All right, now I'm going to take my macaron ink pad, and I'm going to close it and open it all the way up, and I'm going to use this edge here on this ink pad, not the side where the handle is, but on the edge. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold my 2 fingers down on that piece of white scrap, and I'm going to drag it across. And what I'm doing is I'm creating a really soft version with some texture, like so. Just kind of another lighter tone. You could also do You could use the blending brushes if you wanted to do this, but I just want something really quick. So I'm going to do that first. And then I'm going to grab my die, the 2 dies I need, which is this beautiful, this piece is so pretty. So gorgeous, you guys. Look at that. My nail just popped off. Oh, all right, whatever. It's just gone. All right, and so then I'm going to add these. All right, so let's bring out the mini cut and emboss. This cute little thing. It's so cute. Let me share a few tips on how to use this. I know some people have had some troubles with how to get it to align. And so there's some tricks that I wanted to share with you guys. Now, normally you would have everything lined up completely straight so that all your edges were actually lined up. But with this one, we actually recommend that you do a little bit of a slant. These edges are beveled for that purpose so that it feeds right through the mini cut and emboss. So, oh, I get a lot of O's to my nail. Hey, Sue from Ohio. Pretty colors. Yes, they're very soft color palette. All right, so I'm going to line up my dies. And I always want to work towards the center. You don't want to have anything towards the edge. You want to have everything in the center. And then I'm going to place my die on top. And so you can see where they're not all perfectly lined up. And then I'm going to hold it with one hand, and hopefully you can see this. And as I push, I'm going to crank. And then you'll hold your hand on top and then crank through the rest of the way. That way you will get a perfect cut every time. And you won't have any where like it's just the rollers rolling, and you'll get a perfect cut every time. All right, so we've got that done. And you can see a little bit of the green. I probably could have added a little bit more, but don't worry. Wait till you see what we do with it. Just kind of gave it a little softer color. All right, let me just throw that in my bucket. And let's try this one. Now, you can do 2 things. Actually, I want to go ahead and cut this. I didn't realize this was going to be wider. Okay. You can do this 2 different ways. You can do them separately, or you can use some washi tape. I always use washi tape to hold everything down to put it through. So I've just grabbed some washi tape that I had old, and I always keep it on hand. I put it on a string, and I have it right next to my cut and emboss machine so that I have some sticky tape ready to go. And then sometimes I'll even just if I'm working on something, I'll just place it on the sides here so that I can grab them really quick. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this one in place, and it takes just a minute to kind of get it there where you want it to be. And then I'm going to tape it down. And then I'm going to do the same over here. This takes a little time, but it's like a one cut, one roll through pass. So you don't have to do it several times. You can just do it one time. And then this one, I'm just going to keep turning until I find it. Somebody did have a really great tip. Oops, where'd it go? And I'll tell you it as soon as I get the point. There it is. Okay, so what they did is they put like a Sharpie dot. Let me see if I can find a Sharpie dot. There we go. I saw this afterwards. So you take your Sharpie dot and you find whatever point to remember. So I'm going to say that this is the biggest opening. And so you're just going to place a little Sharpie dot on the one that would have the biggest opening. You just got to find whatever works for you. And then that way, every time you use it, you'll know to go to that point. If you have a hard time finding the the blooms, the bloom shapes. Okay. And then again, I'm going to slide this just a little bit, and I'm going to lay this on top. Again, making sure that it's a little bit of an angle. Hold it with my hand. Everybody got this? All right, just want to check notes real quick. Okay, everybody's watching. Great, we got 60 people still. And we're going to just hold. We're gonna start the process so that it begins to click. And then I'm going to hold the top and crank through. It's really important to have your hand on top as you crank through, because that's what's going to cause it to not slide. All right, and just going to leave this to the side, and all my pieces are cut. Clean that up later. All right, so now let's go back and add some more color to this leaf, these leaf and stem pieces. Hopefully everybody can hear me that. Lynn says, great tips. Yes, yay. Hopefully that will help you have more success with your mini cut and emboss. All right, and then last, I'm going to grab my snips, and I'm going to cut straight. And then I'm going to cut this at an angle. And then what you're going to do so that this angle becomes that angle, I'm going to place it where I want it with that same angle, and then cut my snips so that the angles are the same. I know sometimes when I cut, I would like have one more diagonal than the other, so I just found a tip way to make sure that you can do that. That helps you have the same angle when you cut it once and cut it twice. All right, so now got all those pieces ready. All right, everybody, let's grab our ink pad again. And I do have to say, this ink pad is probably not as juicy. That was one of the things that did come up, I think, in one of the videos, that it wasn't as juicy. I think it was in Jen's. So this is kind of, probably needs to be re-inked, but. And then I'm just gonna take the tip here and just going to add some more coloring towards the tips, like so. Just like that. And then I'm gonna grab this one, and I'm gonna add some more. You could also use a sponge dauber if you wanted to. This is just like really quick coloring, and I wanna make sure it comes down to the edge, because once you get this piece on here, you're not gonna see it as much. Okay, so that is it. Just gonna add a little bit more. I wanna have a little bit more contrast on the very tips. Another way to use your ink pad. All right, let's begin some assembly. I need to do one more thing. I forgot about this. You can see I have all these like little pieces, and we have these cute little flowers. And sometimes, because they are so small, and any of our small dies, they're really, really small, you want to make sure that you get these like edges, because the paper will have to force itself up into the small dies. And so I like to take my bone folder and just kind of flatten them, because I really don't like those little, like what they call bruising. So I just go back over with my bone folder to kind of smooth them out and take away some of those ridges. Now, the only thing is, on this one, I'm going to grab my foam mat, and I'm going to grab another piece of the Take a Pick tool, which is the stylist. It's not used very often, and sometimes I just grab it like this and not even in the Take-A-Pick tool. It has two ends. You've got a larger size and a smaller size, but I'm going to use the larger one. And all I'm going to do is just press down. I'm going to add a little bit dimension into my flowers, into these mini flowers. So you just press them down right into that mat. And then you've got these really cute little dainty flowers. So really quick and simple. All right, let's begin some assembly. So first I want to show you an old tip. This is a tip of old, and it's probably one that was one of the very first tips that I remember learning about when I became a demonstrator all those, wow, like 15 years ago or something like that. Versamark. So I learned that you can do Versamark on crumb cake to get a darker version. Actually, you can do it on any cardstock to get a darker version, kind of like a tone-on-tone look. But with crumb cake, it really like stands out. So I grabbed the smaller bloom, and I'm going to juice it up and just stamp. And at first, it doesn't like get too dark, but as it dries, it starts to get darker. So I'm just going to do some random flowers. This is going to be like the center of my imagery. So everything is going to be like in here in this focal point. So I want to make sure I have some of these kind of going off the edge. So I'm just adding that tone-on-tone Versamark. My Versamark's kind of juicy, which helps. All right, and that's about all I want to do. But you can see how it's starting to get darker. On the crumb cake, it really, really shows. Val says, love that tip. I know, I'm full of tips, you guys. Full of tips today. Lots and lots of elements. All right, now, here's another thing. I lost my nail, so this will be helpful. Or you can use your scissors. I want to add a little bit of texture around the edge. I don't want it to be so hard. So I'm going to take my scissors and kind of just scruff the edges around that layer that I did. And I'm okay that if I get some really like deeper indentions than the other, I'm fine with that. I'm just using the scissors. I know that we've in the past had some tools, so if you have some of those tools, you could do that, but just get out your paper snips. That's all you need. And you want to go all the way around. You can even do some cutting into it just to kind of add some texture into this. So there we go. Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm so glad you're continuing on. I see a whole bunch of new followers coming on. Karen, Shirley. Hi, everybody. All right. So if you missed a good portion of this, don't worry. It's going to be posted in our Facebook page on Crafty Carrot, and you'll be able to watch it from the very beginning as well. All right. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to add this with some dimensionals. Love dimensionals. My almost favorite product that I have to have. I always do one on each corner and one in the middle. You don't want to have a sag, so you always add one in the center. And that's really all you need. You don't have to fill it up completely. Dimensionals will hold really well. So I'm just going to place this in the center. All right, next I'm going to use this gingham ribbon. So this is the Bumblebee gingham ribbon. I love this ribbon. It's so pretty, and I love gingham. So I'm just gonna cut a few of these, probably about a 3-inch strip, and I wanna do 2 of them. So I have one here, and then I'm gonna add another one here. Okay. I'm going to use the snail plus to adhere it down. The reason why I use the snail plus is I really like the option that you can use like just 2 of the little dashes to hold everything down. You don't have to use a whole strip. And so I'm just going to add a couple of little of those and add my ribbon. This is my bottom piece. And then I'm going to add and you could use mini glue dots if you wanted to. You can use the other regular snail if you wanted to. But just a little bit is all you need. And I'm going to let this one hang off the edge a little bit. And it's not going to be too close. Right, and then just because I'm a little OCD, I'm going to cut that off a little bit. Snail. You can use the snail if you have snail too. I have, it's Seal Plus. Oh, did I say snail? I thought I said Seal Plus. These are not my ribbon scissors. How many of you have ribbon scissors and then you have like scissors for paper? It's a must. Because paper will dull the scissors over time, and so it's hard to get a really good straight edge, cut edge with your ribbon. Okay. All right, we've got all these lovely pieces. Let's begin some assembly. Let's get out our liquid glue. We're going to get out some mini glue dots. We're going to get out some linen thread. And what else do we need? I think that's it. None of this. All right, so first let's grab the bloom and these two. I'm going to add one on top of each other, like so. So I'm just going to have them line up, but then they're kind of like a layered, kind of like an invisible layered. Let me just check back at some. Hey Rebecca, good to see you here. Working on Watch Remote later on. Yes, I have the ribbon scissors. Yes, the really good ones, these. Yeah, that was a fantastic set of scissors. I loved them. First thing I learned from Krista was only to use her, yes, ribbon scissors for ribbon. Yep. And then I'm going to add this with some glue. Now, this is going to go right there, right on the center. All right. And then, whenever I'm not using my glue, I always leave it on its side, as well as if for long periods of time, make sure you put the cap on it because it will dry out. All right, now I'm going to use that centerpiece with some dimensionals, or you can use a glue dot too. And so this is going to become the center of my flower, like so. And then I'm going to add with some glue. I'm just going to add a little bit of glue on the tips, just to make the kind of the bud stem. And then add that right on there. Okay, hold still. 1, 2, 3, good enough. All right, and then let's add some dimensionals on the back side, and I'm going to do just basically in the center. And I want mine, I'm going to grab my happy. Can you see how I'm going to start the process of building this together? So my happy is going to go down here across, and here are my like so. And then I'm just gonna take a little bit of glue. I'm only gonna add it to like the main stem part, not on the end, because I wanna have that kind of popped up a little bit. And I'm gonna fit this right underneath. I love this piece. It's so pretty. And I want to tuck it in just a little bit more so I make sure that it fits for an envelope. Okay. And then this piece, I'm actually going to use dimensional. And then I'm going to put a little piece of glue, just a little bit of liquid. And it kind of gives it that dimension where it's close, but then it pops up. Can you see where it's going now? I see it. So pretty. So pretty. It's getting there. Do you see? Do you see? All right. Then I'm going to grab my happy. And let's go ahead and add dimensionals to the larger parts. And then I'm probably going to use, I always use these edges for half sizes. You have one right there, one here. And I like the color palette that I'm working on. It's very light. I loved what Susan did with those really bright, bold colors. So I just wanted to change it a little bit and add it to be a little bit softer. So that way you guys get a really great idea of how the Crafty Carrot covers all kinds of color combinations. All right, and then I'm gonna just add another one of these right here. And I'm gonna add that happy. Make sure that sticks there. This is going to go right across here, like so. Probably could have cut that down a little bit, but that's okay. And then I'm going to add my little flowers with a little bit of glue. And I forgot one last thing to add, which I'll do that in just a second. You could also use mini glue dots. I guess I could have done that. You can see how they would look with the glue dots. So just glue dot them, shape them again, and then stick it down. All right, last, we're gonna make a little linen thread bow. If you know me, I love bows on everything. So I'm gonna use linen thread to make a nice large bow. I'm gonna add a little glue dot. And then I'm just going to tuck this in underneath that birthday. And then just kind of fix it a little bit and trim it down a little, like so. And there you go. There's my card. Do you want to see the original one? So this was my original one. Yay! I'm getting lots of hearts, lots of love. Super easy, comes together pretty quickly when you get all those pieces put together. Such a pretty card, very pretty. Thank you, everybody. I love the color. Yes, I love the colors. Creme cake is such a great neutral for any. Oh gosh, thanks guys for all the love. That's so nice of you. Aw. So this kind of was the same kind of layout that I did for a card that I did for our sneak peek announcement. This was actually all 4 of our stamp sets from the birthday collection all together, so you can kind of see. So this was Jen's stamp, this is the flowers and this little You Sweet thing, that's from the sweet strawberries that's coming out with from Krista, my flowers, my little greenery piece, and then this piece, the triangle, which created the background, is the ice cream cone. So I kind of love the little soft colors that were going on here, and I kind of just continued on into mine as well. All right, so also I wanted to mention, I didn't cover like everything that's in the stamp set and in the dies that I have, but we have my tutorials coming up as well, and we have where we're going to be casing each other. So that's 3 more cards on top, so that's additional 4 cards. So I'm going to be using all of this entire stamp set and the dies in many different ways, and so that's going to be all on an exclusive program that starts February 1st. All right, so because there's so much in this bundle, it's great, it's beautiful, and there's so much you can do, so many different ways you can use it. So, all right, let me switch you around. Let's see. Get this all set. Very pretty card. Thank you. Pretty. Awesome. Oh, this is looking terrible, you guys. This is showing bad. There we go. No worries, Susan. I know it was a busy Sunday for you. I love the blue card too. Thank you. Oh, I have to check like all the comments afterwards. Yes, we'll be posting a photo of the project in our Facebook and our Instagram, Crafty Carrot Collective program. So, account. So you'll be able to check it out there. We'll get that posted, and you can always watch the video again. So thank you, Pam. Thank you, everybody. Oh, so generous. I love the comments. Thank you so much. All right, so a few things to administrative-wise clear up on. If you are so inspired by my sneak peek tutorial today, share your projects and tag us on whenever you post it. You can also shop with us, or you can subscribe with on our Facebook page or on our website, which is the Crafty Carrot Collective at blogspot.com. So you can go there and you can subscribe. We did increase our subscription this year, so it has gone up. But however, we are doing a limited time. It's the same price of what we had for 2020 for a limited time, 1 full year, which is 9 months. Plus you get the 1 free tutorial is for $135. So you're getting a deal before the prices increase. And you could go ahead and, if you wanted to, even just do 1 month, or you could do a 3-month subscription. We always start 1 month with a collection. So it could be a birthday collection, it could be a flowers collection, it could be a masculine collection, it could be a Christmas collection. So we, all 4 of us do 1 stamp set, and then we do tutorials, and then we case each other. So you're getting like 16 different ideas. And then we do a guest designer. We do have a guest designer that comes aboard, and you'll get an extra tutorial that month. And so we're excited about what this year in 2021 brings. And I can't believe we've been doing it for 4 years. It's like so exciting. So happy birthday to the Crafty Carrot. And let's look forward to another year all together. So yeah, thanks guys for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful day, and be sure to check back in just a few hours. Krista's going to be live in our last tutorial, and I'm excited to see what she brings. So thank you, everybody. Great to see all my friends on here and all our Crafty Carrot followers, and we hope to see you in February at our birthday collection. Bye-bye.